Hello Internet and welcome to another episode of Bazzle Spotlight. Obviously we're here on BattleSpot and we're going to jump in and do some more games with this team that you're hopefully not sick of seeing. If you did see Monday's episode, you have seen that it's a little bit different now. I am using quite a special little Gigalith that we've got going on that is sturdy. It's not Sandstream, which it is so for a few reasons. I mean, sturdy in itself is potentially useful ability, can take maybe a Tectonic Rage, I guess, and hit something back in return. But it means, really that I'm not competing with my own weather. It means that Torkoal can come in and, or even Gigalith rather, can come in while Torkoal is out and not reduce my eruption damage. I'm not, going to be breaking my Lilligant's Focus Sash. Not that I ever use Lilligant anymore, really. And even in the sun, Gigalith is not too bad because I'm reducing the water damage to it as well. So I mean, the some interesting reasons why I do quite like the sturdy Gigalith here, but I'm hoping it's actually gonna the ability itself, Gigalith, the ability itself sturdy, rather than the lack of Sandstream is actually gonna do something for us at some point. But we'll look for a battle and hopefully we'll find one. As it's taking a little while. But here we go, we find someone from Canada with the name Chino, with the wonderful and oh so common and tiresome combination of Arcanine and Garchomp. He's got Nihilego as well though, and Tapu Koko, Aerodactyl, so a very fast team with just a Porygon2 tacked on there in the end. Nihilego, it's an interesting Pokemon, Nihilego. I do like Nihilego. But I don't know if we'll see it. We might do. I suppose it is very good against Torkoal. So what do we do here? I mean, if he leads with Porygon2, maybe that's his best way of stopping Trick Room, if he goes for his own Trick Room there. I suppose he could Sky Drop as well, but that only prevents Trick Room for one turn. So maybe this is a game in which I want to lead with Hariyama. So Hariyama, Oranguru. In the back, I do quite like Gigalith here. So yes to Gigalith, and I think Torkoal as well. Just because I don't really like the look of Metagross here, or Lilligant. So I will go with Torkoal, so we'll go with these four. So no Metagross in this game, and we've got Hariyama instead. So Hariyama, hopefully it is your time to shine. Let's see. So this guy, I think he was like 16 something, wasn't he? He had a decent rating, so he should know what he's doing. He's obviously won a few battles. So let's see then. Aerodactyl Porygon 2. Okay, well that is interesting. I was just expecting Arcanine Garchomp like everyone leads. So what do we do here then? Because he could be trying to reverse Trick Room. Aerodactyl can't Sky Drop Hariyama because it's too big, too fat. But it can Oranguru, so not that that would do too much damage. It would obviously just, prevent me doing anything for one turn. So, Porygon, this is an interesting place we find ourselves, because it might be obvious that I'm going to Trick Room. He hasn't got really any way of taking advantage of Trick Room, so surely I'm wanting to Trick Room here. So, his only way of stopping that, unless he's got Taunt on Aerodactyl and he thinks he can taunt me, I suppose. Yeah, maybe there could be that. But I kind of want to fake out into the Aerodactyl, because they do normally have Sash, and do I Trick Room or do I not Trick Room? I think I will Trick Room. I think he'll reverse the Trick Room himself, but if he does, then we're still not in the worst of positions, because Hariyama will have its Flame Orb, it will be threatening the Porygon with a effectively +1 close combat. Aerodactyl Sash will hopefully be broken here as well. Yep, which it looks like it's going to be. So it just comes down to if he Trick Rooms or not, I guess. No, he doesn't. He Toxics. Okay. Well, that's fair enough then. But he is in a bit of a situation now, if I don't say so. Because Hariyama, it's time to shine, I think. I can Close Combat Erupt. Close Combat Instruct. So used to using Eruption with Instruct there. But yeah, I mean, a Close Combat will knock both of these Pokemon out. Porygon 2 doesn't normally have Protect. Aerodactyl doesn't really commonly have Protect either. And what's the best thing that he wants to really take a close combat? I suppose it's Tapu Koko, but even then, 2 will knock it out. So an instructed close combat will knock anything on his team out, really. So I am just going to go for the said close combat into Porygon2 and instruct it, because if Porygon2 goes down, it'll get redirected onto Aerodactyl. If Porygon2 switches out into Tapu Koko, 2 will knock it out as well. He doesn't bother trying to protect. And yeah, close combat does knock out the Porygon2 there. So Hariyama losing its defenses, but it's definitely this is one of your games, Hariyama. So I mean, okay, so he might have Arcanine in the back and he could intimidate me there, but I'm still effectively plus. Well, I would be effectively neutral with the burn, wouldn't I? So 2 close combats would knock out, I think, anything again. I have actually got Poison Jab on this Hariyama now as well, so I can target things like the Tapu Pokemon, you know, fairies in general. So Hariyama, it's it's your game, I think, isn't it? And worst case scenario, what? Like Tapu Koko, Arcanine, Nihilego, and what's he got? Nihilego and Arcanine. Okay, so I'm effectively at neutral now. What have we got in the back then? We've got Gigalith and Torkoal in the back. Arcanine can't really do, unless it's got a close combat, it can't really do anything to Gigalith. So Nihilego, I guess, is my biggest threat here. And I think we've still got plenty of Trick Room turns, haven't we? Yeah, we've got loads of Trick Room turns. So I am just going to double into the Nihilego again. If he does protect the Nihilego and Flare Blitzes or does something to knock out my Hariyama, then I will get a free switch into Gigalith and I will be able to Rock Slide Instruct on him or Heavy Slam or whatever I wanted to do there. So yeah, opponent forfeits, nice and early actually. So we'll see how we go, won't we? And look for another game. So didn't get to see anything else in that game. We just saw Hariyama and Oranguru. But there you go. Let's start searching then. Yep. So, I mean, if he had led with Arcanine and Garchomp, then I would have gone for the fake out into Arcanine, because it could potentially roar. I would have been intimidated from turn 1. But even still, I should have been in a decent position. Okay, well, this is one of these QR code teams. And it's unfortunately somewhat similar to mine as well. One thing that I really don't like playing against is Torkoal and Lilligant. Interesting that there's a Drampa on the team there. I can't imagine that's Cloud9 Drampa. I don't know what this team is. I mean, obviously it looks, you know, somewhat familiar because that sort of team was a bit more popular at the beginning of the season, but I can't say I know the items or anything on each of the Pokemon. I mean, if Gigalith did have Sandstream here, then maybe that would be a little bit better for us, but he could still have Cloud9 on the Jumper, I suppose. We could go with our own Lilligant Torkoal here, but don't really like that idea. Yeah, it's actually a little bit tricky. I mean, if I went Lilligant Metagross with After You Explosion, I have got a Focus Sash. Don't think it would knock out the Torkoal though. You know what? Let's do that. Why not? Let's do that. I don't want to go with Hariyama because he's got the thingy. I think I want my own Gigalith. And do I want Torkoal or do I want Oranguru? I think I want Torkoal actually. I think this is probably the only time I've not taken Oranguru. Might be a mistake. It might be a mistake, but I don't know. It's Wednesday, isn't it, after all? So normally we sort of go win, lose, win on a Wednesday. We've been doing 3 battles, haven't we? But we'll see. We'll see how long this goes. We'll see if we lose this one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have sort of led a little bit strangely, and I think it's sort of worked out for us. Unless the Salamence has got maybe Fire Blast and he switches into his Torkoal for the Sun Boost, or substitute on the Salamence, because I do kind of want to go for an explosion, to be honest. I really do. That's really bad of me, isn't it? Lilligant could be Focus Sash. It could be Z move as well. Could be Sleep Powder. Could try and put me to sleep. In fact, that is a big potential, actually. But I'm going to just try and explode. So I protect. Does he protect in the Sleep Powder? Or Sleep Powder? He has got a Substitute. Okay. And he does Sleep Powder into the Metagross. Okay, well, good. I'm glad that I avoided that Sleep Powder. And I hope he hasn't got a Focus Sash here, because that serves you right for, you know, running Sleep Powder. I know it's not your team, you know, using the QR code and everything, but I really just refuse to use Sleep Powder on Lilligant. It's inaccurate, and don't enjoy playing with inaccurate moves. So he has got a Focus Sash on his Lilligant, as I have also. And now I'm going to put in my Tokol. I mean, I'm going to give him the Sun, obviously, but I can start threatening some, you know, some business here. My Lilligant was fast at turn 1. Actually, it wasn't. We don't know that because I protected, do we? I am maximum speed Lilligant though, so I don't know if that one is or not. I don't know if he's modest or timid. I could and will after you erupt here. If he's got Devastating Drake on his Salamence, which he could do, he definitely could do, then that probably will knock out my Tokol, but hoping that he doesn't win a speed tie, potential speed tie, and put my Tokol to sleep here. I mean, that would be a disaster, wouldn't it? And and then we definitely will be having a third game. But I don't know, let's see what happens. I mean, I have to say I'm not really focusing too much on this. I'm just trying to make some funny moves, really, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so my Lilligant does go first, so either I did win a speed tie, or I am just faster. We knock out his Lilligant, and probably do about half of what the Salamence has got left there, yeah. Do expect to see a Devastating Drake here. No, just a Flamethrower. Okay, well I definitely don't mind that, because he's lost his Lilligant, which is fantastic. As long as I don't get burnt here, that would be good. Well, as long as we didn't get burnt there, that would have been good. Because I would have just been able to, after you erupt on everything. Well, that's frustrating. Breathe, barrier. Oh, dear me. Dear me. Okay. So... what's the Salamence going to do? I'm surprised he didn't go for a Z move last turn. If he's got Devastating Drake, I think he would have gone for it that turn. I really do. So maybe he hasn't got it. So maybe I'm okay to survive this turn. Maybe. I don't know what his priority is going to be though. Maybe the Gigalith. But I don't really want to risk protecting one and him attacking the other. I think my Pokemon are bulky enough to survive some things here. Actually, he protects his Summon, so he's not going for a Trick Room here. I'm not sure what the Oranguru is going to be doing. Oh, he just protects as well. So he was trying to fish out for my Protects there, I guess. Or Z moves or something. Okay. I mean, I don't see how the Salamence can knock out my Gigalith if he doesn't have Devastating Drake. But I mean, we're in the same position as last turn, aren't we? Just I know that he is not going to protect his Pokemon this turn. So again, I'm tempted to protect the Gigalith and just attack with a Torkoal. Because I think he might have Torkoal in the back. But then, as long as we stall out the Sun turns, Torkoal's not a threat to Gigalith at all, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm just gonna do the same again, but I'm wanting to protect my Gigalith here, and it looks like he has got Devastating Drake. So, I should have protected. It has to be Gigalith, isn't it? That he's doing this into, surely. And if this doesn't knock it out, then a Psychic or whatever from our Oranguru will pick up the KO, won't it? So, oh, it's actually doing it into the Torkoal. Okay, well, that's changed things a little bit then. So if I had protected the Gigalith there, then things would have been much worse. Oh, we had Sturdy on Gigalith, didn't we? But obviously the double target would have messed things up with that too. I mean, I still don't think I'm winning this game. If it is Torkoal and it is minimum speed, I will be faster. And, oh, it's actually Drampa. So, yeah, the game is really over now, I think. Because he can just Draco Meteor me. Yeah, nothing that I can do about that. Ooh. That's frustrating. Where did things go wrong then? Because I felt quite good in this game. Oh, that burn, that's what happened. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so if he hadn't burnt me, would he have still brought in a Oranguru? I'm not sure. If he hadn't burnt me, I would have been able to have gone for an after eruption, which would have knocked out the Salamence and done a lot of damage to his Oranguru. He probably would have protected his Salamence and attacked my Lilligant to knock it out. And it would have been up to me to predict that, and maybe protect my Lilligant, or maybe switch out or do something like that. If I would have or not, I don't know. But the game would have been a lot different without that burn on the Lilligant. You know, we can definitely say that for sure. So yeah, just because, it's funny how it turns out that it's on Wednesdays, isn't it? Just because of that blooming burn, we're gonna look for a third game, and we're gonna try and win it, obviously. So, yeah. Why does this happen on Wednesdays? That's so weird. But yeah, here we go. Let's start looking. And hopefully we can find some sort of redemption. Oh, Lilligant. Lilligant, you useless thing. I hardly used Lilligant at all, and the one game where it was actually going to do some work. Oh well. So we find another Torkoal here, and this is a really peculiar looking team, actually. Really peculiar. Okay, so he does have a potential Trick Room option with his Mimikyu. My Metagross looks pretty good here, to be honest. Aside from, I guess, the Mimikyu. And his own Torkoal. So I don't think he's going to lead with his Torkoal though. I sort of like the look of Hariyama here as well, but maybe the Mimikyu is a bit more of a problem than the first give it credit for. Lilligant, do we want you? No, we don't. Flash forward a few turns, it'll be my last Pokemon against a Tapu Fini or something. What do we want here then? So, like, he's obviously got, I mean, he might lead with his Raichu. I think I'm comfortable with this, but I think I do want my Gigalith here, because he has got these two fire Pokemon. He's got his two fairies there as well. Torkoal, do we want you? Or, I think I'm actually going to go with Hariyama. Yeah, I might regret that just because of the Mimikyu. Torkoal is obviously a lot better against Mimikyu than the Hariyama, but maybe Hariyama does give me a few more options. Don't know. We'll see how this goes, I guess. And we'll keep our fingers crossed, because I think we need a bit of. I think we deserve a bit of fortune there, don't we? not that we'll get it, but you know what I mean. Alright then, so he's led like this. So what I am going to do is I'm going to Trick Room and Hammer Arm into his Incineroar. Now this exact same thing happened at some point last week, I think, didn't it? Where I went for a Hammer Arm into his Incineroar turn 1 and I missed. But doing this means, you know, providing that my Hammer Arm hits the Incineroar, it means if he fake outs the Oranguru, Metagross will be faster than his Incineroar unless it's Jolly, and I'll be able to knock it out in one hit. If he goes for a fake out into the Metagross, then I suppose, I mean, Oranguru should survive a Darkest Lariat. I suppose it depends on if he's got the Malicious Moonsault or not. So he actually goes for a feint, expecting my Protect on my Metagross. Little does he know, I'm Choice Banded and I have no option but to Protect. Hammer Arm thankfully hits this time. So bosh! There we go. That's the Hammer of Metagross. And it means we will get the Trick Room off, so yeah, good, right. Yeah, I'm not sure why I would have protected. I mean, maybe he thought I might double protect there on the fake out, but yeah, I'm glad Hammer Arm actually did something for us. So Mimikyu comes out, and Metagross isn't looking too happy after all, but he can't really do too much to my Oranguru outside of hitting it with Raichu, I guess. I mean, I could instruct Hammer Arm onto his Raichu. I don't think it might knock it out. I mean, it's resisted, but I am Choice Banded. And it would put me at -3 speed as well, which would mean I'm potentially going to be like the slowest thing in Trick Room. Just thinking if he does want to bring in his Torkoal. I'm surprised he didn't bring in his Torkoal there. Maybe he hasn't actually brought it. So, I think, actually, I'm going to break the disguise on the Mimikyu. And I am going to go for a Hammer. I'm not going to switch. I'm going to go for a Hammer Arm into the Raichu. I'm kind of curious on this calculation as well. Okay. Okay, Tapu Bulu's coming in. So maybe I do want to switch Metagross the next turn, but he could be going for the Nightmare, Everlasting Nightmare, or whatever it is, on my Metagross if he, you know, thought I would stay in. I wouldn't have thought it would have been obvious for me to stay in, but I don't know, we'll see what he does. I'm at -2 speed now. Yeah, I did some decent damage. Ooh, Swords Dance. That's a little bit scary, actually. He could have Psych Up on his Tapu Bulu. And we're sort of running out of Trick Room turns here as well now. So, Torkoal would be nice here, but I didn't bring it, did I? What's he going to do here? What is he actually going to do? I need 3 switches into my things in the back. And I don't think I'm going to get them. Okay, well I'm going to protect Oranguru here, and I'm going to put Gigalith in. Just because I think Hariyama is more important. I mean, he has got Raichu in the back. Just because I'm thinking, I'm keeping my Oranguru on this turn. Worst case scenario, I lose my Gigalith here. Which I might be. We'll see what the Tapu Bulu does. Okay, so it is a Bloom Doom. If this is into the Oranguru, then we're not in a bad position. But at least we know the item on the Tapu Bulu now. If he does do this into the Gigalith, then I can basically get a free switch into my Hariyama. And I thought doing this, okay, I'm going to be losing one of my Pokemon, potentially. Yeah, okay, so good. So it is into the Oranguru. I was potentially going to be losing one of my Pokemon here, but I thought that was more important because it's more important really to take advantage of my Trick Room turns. And they are running out. So I have got Heavy Slam on this Gigalith, but I mean, the Gigalith, actually both of these Pokemon would probably go reasonably, you know, down to a Heavy Slam actually. So what do we want to do here? I mean, I do want to instruct the Gigalith, but do I go for a Rock Slide? No, I don't think so. Do I go for a Heavy Slam or a Continental Crush? Well, actually, I don't want to instruct if I'm Continental Crushing, so I think I am Heavy Slamming. But which one do we Heavy Slam into? I think the Mimikyu is actually the bigger threat, so I'm going to go into the Mimikyu here. If it's got a Focus Sash, then it will go down. But you know, with the combination of both attacks. Okay, good. So, because it wasn't Focus Sash, we can get this Heavy Slam. I don't think it will knock out this Tapu Bulu, but it should bring it quite close. And if it has got Wood Hammer and not like Horn Leech, then maybe. It's Wood Hammer, yeah. So he's probably going to be taking himself down to recoil here. Yeah, good. So the problem now is he's going to have Raichu, and I'm going to have Harangu, which can't really do anything to it, and Hariyama in the back. So maybe when I was making the decision a couple of turns ago about which one I wanted to bring in, maybe I should have brought in Hariyama there. Just that, oh, I've got Metagross as well, haven't I? Kind of completely forgotten about Metagross. The amount of times that it just sort of explodes turn one. It's here. It's alive. The Metagross is still around. Fantastic. Yeah, all right then. So I think we should be okay, but yeah, I think we should be okay. I am actually going to put the Hariyama in first though, because it gives me a bit more leeway to get Trick Room up again, so that I can bring in the Metagross. And Metagross can't really hit the Raichu for too much damage, but Raichu can't really do too much to Metagross in return. I suppose it can Thunderbolt, but we're in Trick Room. Yeah, we're in Trick Room, so I'm just going to go for a Psy Shock into the Raichu, not my own Hariyama. He might fake out. He definitely might fake out. Yeah, I think we're okay here. Either way, I think we're okay. I'm just going to go for a knockoff into the Raichu. If he fake outs, he fake outs. Like, worst case, like I should have just fake outed into him instead, but yeah. What I could have done next turn, if he faked it out or whatever, I would have switched my Metagross in for my Hariyama, because, you know, chances are I would have been going for a Psychic or something into that slot. I would have got a Trick Room, even if he did go for like a Thunderbolt into the Oranguru slot as well. In Trick Room, Metagross will be able to, you know, maybe double Hammer Arm or double Meteor Mash, whatever, could just explode on it to get a free switch into Hariyama, with knockoff, which would knock it out too. So yeah, either way I had the game won. So there you go, all in under half an hour as well, just over 27 minutes. I don't know why it happens like this on Wednesdays. It always seems to be like this, doesn't it, where I get like a burn on my Focus Sash or something like that, and we have to go and do a third game, don't we? So thank you very much for watching this, guys. I hope, again, you have enjoyed it. So please, you know, if you have enjoyed it, please show your appreciation by clicking on like and leaving a comment and all that lovely stuff as well. Thank you, everyone who does leave comments. You know, obviously I do read them all and you know, respond to the ones that tickle my brain as well. So thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye for now.